Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Jason up, New Age Revolution down here. Just waking up. Not really. That's called acting. See, I was acting just then. Why am I dressed in the jams? And why do I have the tussled bed head? Well, because I got a great idea from a man Bal over there in the UK. He said, "Hey, whatever happened to childhood bedrooms? Whatever happened to our bedroom?" And I thought, well, that's a great idea because I think bedrooms meant a lot more to us than they do now. So yes, I can take anything of yesteryear, and say that it means something. It means more to us then than it does today, or kids of today. So let's talk about bedrooms. Whatever happened to our childhood bedrooms? I have told the bedroom story many times. It's kind of almost like it's one of the hallmarks of this channel, and I think that bedroom in the childhood home contributed in one way to all of this. Absolutely. Really quickly, just so you know, like you've forgotten, we had a 3-bedroom house, split level, right? So 4 stairs go down to a family room, got your living room area, 4 stairs go up to the bedroom areas. And off the family room was another bedroom, I guess. And we had a family member living with us. They were living in that bedroom. They got themselves cable. And I slept upstairs like a normal 8-year-old kid. My 2 sisters shared a room. When the family member moved out, I don't know how, but I got offered that bedroom, or I asked for the bedroom. I don't know why an 8-year-old kid would want to sleep down in the basement, which wasn't a basement. Like I said, it was a family room, but it was downstairs. Why would an 8-year-old want to do that? Don't know. I did. And my parents forgot that there was a cable hookup and a television in there. I assume they forgot. Or they didn't care because it was 1984. And I was not shy about turning on that television at all hours of the night and watching wrestling, discovering wrestling, watching Tales from the Dark Side, watching Friday the 13th, HBO, boobies, you name it. You name it, I saw it at 8 years old in my bedroom. So that's the bedroom story. But let's talk about the bedrooms. Right? Let's talk about our caves, our man caves before we were men, our boy caves, and our girl caves, right? I'm sure there's some ladies watching the channel. I know for me, posters were the thing. Posters were more important than a bed in the bedroom. And when I say posters, I want to pull it back, because I never really had a lot of posters, or any for that matter. These were all pinups. I had pinups. And pinups, for wrestling fans, if you recall, and I don't have a magazine handy to just show you, but pinups were magazine size, like 8 by 11, 8 by 10, 8 by 11. Wrestling magazines would have maybe 5 or 6 colored pages of wrestlers in action or posing, and those were pinups. And I had ridiculous amounts of wrestling magazines and ridiculous amounts of pinups. We're talking entire wall coverage pinups. And they were, like I said, they were more important than any other part of the bedroom was pinups. Posters came later, but in 1984, I don't know where I would have gotten a poster. I mean, I'm sure there were places, but I didn't have access to a poster, so I would use pinups. And then sometimes the wrestling magazines would be like a like a super duper bonus magazine, and you'd get like maybe a fold out poster that was like maybe 4 pinup sizes, like a middle insert or something like that. My friend Bale mentioned the electronics that we had in our room, and I don't know if it's changed, but I remember every kid having a television in their room. I remember any kid who I was friends with, any kid that I went to their house, had a TV in their room, obviously including me. So I don't know if it was because I think I know why, because it's the reason that my kid doesn't have a TV in his room today, because the options were so limited that we would not get consumed by the television by any means. Because in 1984, if you weren't an adult, television was pointless unless it was like nighttime or Saturday mornings. So what am I going to do? I'm going to lay in bed all day and hide away from the world and watch Days of Our Lives or game shows, or MASH? No, it's not happening. Who cared about the television, right? But we all had one in our rooms, and I think some of us had our video game systems hooked up to it. I did not. Our Atari was hooked up in the living room. I never had a video game console in my room until probably 90, when the NES came around, and my sisters couldn't have cared less about it, and so it went in my room. And then from there on, of course, I had video games in my room, but never in the 80s. But I think equally important to us, electronic-wise, was a boombox. We had boomboxes in our room. And we had a digital alarm clock that had red numbers, like I have 3 or 4 of around this room. But the boombox was, again, a necessity. Maybe even as important as the television, right? Because we were exploring our own music interests. We were getting cassette tapes. We were listening to the Casey Kasem America's Top 40 on Sunday nights, or at least I was. Or we were using that boombox and a blank tape to record ourselves, to sit in our room and record our voices. Doing what? Didn't matter. But it was fun to say something and then rewind it and play it back and listen to how dumb we sounded on tape. Remember how blown away the first time you were, or how blown away you were when you heard your voice on tape for the first time? I hated listening to myself on tape. But the TV and the boombox were electronic necessities. Toys, of course. So that toys, yes, we didn't have a toy room, or my kids today kind of have their toys in their room. They have toys in our living room, in our family room type thing. They got toys everywhere. But back then, I think toys were pretty much exclusive to the bedroom. You had a bookshelf or two, or you had a toy box, or you had something. I don't know. I had a pretty cool. It like came with the room. It was like a built-in ledge all around my room, like a. Hi there. We got a new puppy here. You want to meet her? Here, say hi. This is Missy. This is Missy, our new puppy. We got her yesterday, and she's already like a giant cuddle bug. Look at her. Oh yeah, I had a ledge all around the room, and my toys, my figures anyway, would just get set up on that ledge, and anything else I had would get set up on that ledge. But toys. Sorry, the dog kicked my phone and lost my place. Toys were definitely a big part of the room. Did we play in our rooms? Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the deal. I think a lot of kids spent a lot more time in their rooms than they do now. And I can take that back a little bit, because if your kid has his computer or his video games in there, you're never going to see him again. He's gone. Forget it. But if we got holed up in our rooms on a rainy Saturday afternoon, we weren't on video games, and we weren't watching television or on Discord. We were we were playing. So my room was my arena for my LJNs. We did a lot more playing in our rooms. Even though I was 8 years old, and let me know if you guys did this too, I was constantly rearranging and cleaning my room. Now, I know that there are some kids, the stereotype is that kids have messy rooms and don't clean their rooms. I was a weirdo, because I was always rearranging or cleaning my room. And by rearranging, I mean I would get like bored of the bed up against this wall, and I would totally reconfigure the room and put the bed over here, and I was doing that all the time. And I was always like, setting up all my stuff and doodads and knickknacks and what have yous, and always doing that, always doing that. And we talked about that in a previous episode, where you had your dresser, and then you had a doily, you had a white lace thingy that you put on your dresser, and then you set all your stuff on it, your stupid, aftershave bottles that you had when you're 8 for no reason, or your little frog statue that your grandma got you, or something, whatever. You had them in your room. The furniture, we all had our twin size bed. We all had our dresser, right? You had a bed and a dresser, and then you had your stuff. But as I mentioned on a previous episode, we always had a desk. There was always a desk in my room, and trust me, we were not studious. We were not academic standouts. We were not rushing home and tossing our homework on the desk and sitting down and doing it. No, indeed. But I don't know why we had a desk. I think it was just because. And I'm not even sure that desk always had a chair attached to it or affiliated with it. But there was a desk. Hi, Missy, you came back. There was a desk. And I remember that desk was another opportunity to organize stuff. And you have your pencils out, or your pens, and your fresh notebook paper that you can sit down and write your Saturday morning, cartoon list on, or your LJN WrestleMania event on your pieces of paper. And then there was a magazine. And hopefully I can find it, because I can't. It's over there somewhere. But there was a wrestling magazine that advertised posters. I think it was a wrestling magazine ad, and it was always on the back cover, and it advertised 4 poster magazines, I think, and basically it's got a picture of a kid at his desk, with his head in his hands, staring up at the posters and like dreaming of the superstars type of thing, right? And I would try, as goofy as I was, I would try to copy that desk. So I would get, like, he had AWA wrestlers set up. He had some VHS tapes on it. He had like a little cup of pens, and he had his little pencils arranged in a certain way. So I would, like, if I was going to set up my desk, I would stage my desk. Yeah. Here's some little side topics. Did anybody have a weight set in their room? I did. At all of 75 pounds of of skinny, scrawny, nerd. I had a weight set. I had a bench press machine. Not a machine. Oh Lord, no. A bench rack. A Joe Weider bench press with those Joe Weider weights that are plastic and filled with sand. Yeah, and I guess I would work out, right? I had my bench press bar, and then I had 2 curling dumbbells. And then when I got really into working out, which was not at all, I had a sit-up bench too. All in my room at certain points, crammed in there, right? And this is not just the room in the childhood home. These are other rooms as, my mom moved us around from apartment to apartment after the divorce, of course. I'm not bitter. But the bigger the room, the more workout equipment I had, because I was certainly well on my way to becoming a bodybuilding standout. Did you have pets in your room? I didn't until I was about 13, and I had my first pet live in my room, and it was a rat. I had a pet rat as a kid, and it lived in my room and died in my room because I was 13 and was an idiot and didn't know how to take care of the rat, like feed it. But I think pets are kind of a rite of passage in the 80s for kids in their bedrooms. And I think for most of us, it was a goldfish. It was a goldfish in a horribly tiny little bowl. Or it was a hamster or some nonsense pet like that, right? What else? What else? Forts. My goodness, forts. Yes, forts. I think I did a Whatever Happened to Forts episode way back. But wow. I was so into forts that I would just make a fort anywhere, including my bedroom closet. Yeah, forts were so good that I cleaned out my closet and put a blanket in there and a light and some magazines. And that was my fort. And then, of course, you have the dream of sleeping in the fort. I'm going to sleep in the closet tonight. Your mother's going to go along with it. She's going to tuck you in. 15, 20 minutes later, you're ditching the idea. You're back in your bed. But forts, I would build forts in my room because forts were great, and I would take any fort I could get, even a bedroom fort. Now, what I see today, right? Is it all that different? Well, let's take a look. I'm gonna bring you into the world of the New 80s Revolution. Let's go upstairs and see if Liam's room is similar to what I just described. I can tell you he certainly does not spend any time in his room at all. He sleeps in his room half the night, but does not play in his room. He does not play in his room. He will not be up there on a rainy Sunday spending 8 hours in his room planning, how to take over the world. Not at all. That room is dark until nighttime when it's time for bed. But let's go see what I've done with his room or what he's wanted done. Let's go check it out. Let's see if it's similar. All right, I have not cleaned up his room at all, so it's obviously a mess. Obviously a mess. But, we got the toys. We got the classics. And it's chock full of posters. Chock full of posters. Rocking the kid bed still. Just because we're lazy and haven't changed it. There's Linda Blair from The Exorcist. So similar, I think, to the childhood bedrooms of yesteryear. There's the dog. Okay, let's head back down. What are you doing? All right, so that's it. That's bedrooms of our childhood. Whatever happened to our childhood bedrooms? I always did want one of these car beds. These, this is a Hot Wheels car bed. Always wanted one as a kid. It was kind of a kid holy grail. Never happened. I have slept in this, and it's awful. So I'm glad that, I also wasn't, 220 pounds when I was 8. But that's it. That's definitely. Let's hear about your. I hate when YouTubers do this. Let's hear about your childhood bedroom memories. Mine are very fond, very special. Times have changed. Like I said, we don't spend as much time in our kids don't spend as much time in their bedrooms anymore. But tell me yours. How great were they? That's it. That's all. I got to go take care of these children and this new dog, and that's it. We'll see you next time. Good night now.